DeVore Live.
DeVore Live. What are we? March 12, 2025. DeVore Live is all things Jax, business, real estate, and life. I'm here with the crew. We got Wes Deason back.
Thank you.
Anka Deason has been filling in for Mr. Wes Deason, and Wes is back. Good to see you here. And we got the man, Ethnan Atud Faman. Will Reed. DeVore Live is brought to you by DeVore Media and sponsored by the DeVore Capital Group, your leading construction real estate development company in Jacksonville. Some of our primary services is roofing. So if you're a homeowner or business owner, reach out to us and we can help you with all your roofing needs. And DCRE, it's the only brokerage that I know of that specializes and caters to the real estate entrepreneur, investor, while also working with the traditional buyer and seller of real estate. So reach out to us. Links are probably below or somewhere.
They'll be somewhere.
Yeah. Everyone feeling good?
All around.
Feeling good.
Doing good.
Man, a lot's been happening in Jacksonville, man. Like this past weekend. It was so we were downtown. So we're based out of downtown Jax, right on Bay Street. You know, you can see the backdrop. And Saturday night was the busiest I've ever seen the city. There was so much going on. We had Monster Jam. Well, were you at Monster Jam?
I was not at Monster Jam.
You look like you would go to Monster Jam.
He's a Monster Jamian.
Monster Jam took over Everbank, the Jag Stadium. We had Shane Gillis playing at the arena. Shane Gillis, hot off of his SNL hosting, you know, just a week before.
Held the record, sold out attendance.
Sold it out. Aretha Franklin was at the... No, was it Aretha? No, it wasn't Aretha Franklin. Gladys Knight. Gladys Knight at Florida Theater.
Yeah.
Jacksonville Symphony was going on. And right next door to us at Deca Live, my main man, Hovey, Christian hip hop, the top G in Christian hip hop. We were there, and me and Ethnan was there. Yes, what did you think of Deca Live? It was our first time going there.
It was sweet. I mean, it's like, you know, it's a slender venue. I thought the stage was going to be much bigger for some reason. I don't know why I thought that. But that stage was so small to me.
It was almost the size of the stage at Jackrabbits.
Yeah,
and Jackrabbits is only like 150 cap.
Yeah, it is so small. I was actually dumbfounded by that. But there's some DJs that are coming here in the next few weeks. We may go to that and see.
Yeah, 50 Cent. 50 Cent just got booked for Deca Live.
Yeah.
But it's cool, man. I mean, it's a nice, you know, obviously it's been fully renovated, so it's new, it's clean, it looks, the lighting's good. What do you think of the sound?
Good. I was in the back. I was unfortunate to get all the way up to the front. Scott and them had some great seats, so it was very that seats were standing room only, so in the front row. I was in the back. Heard the high end good, but the low end came in very like it wasn't like any like good kick. But other than that, it was phenomenal though. Yeah. It was definitely a live event for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice venue.
Yeah,
but let's talk about the biggest sporting event happening in Jacksonville right now. We got TPC, the Players Championship, right next door to Duval. And look at Will. Well, you think you teach him etiquette? We're live on a podcast.
My bad.
Here we go again.
All right, TBC, the Players Championship is happening over at Sawgrass down at Ponte Vedra Beach. Wes Deason. Wes was there, man. You did like a senior skip day yesterday.
I did.
Took off work, went to TPC
awesome.
for the pre-event. So tell me, what was it like this year? The same kind of vibe as the years before?
Yeah, totally. I mean, Tuesdays are great. It's Military Appreciation Day. It's practice round, so much less people, but also much less. Just better access to do things.
Yep.
You know, you can get really close to the players. There's some areas, if you know where to go, literally you could be just walking right along with a player. We did that a couple times yesterday. Chatted with them, said, hey, good luck. You know, they're right there giving you high fives and stuff. Really cool, you know, when it's more relaxed that way than on, you know, actual tournament rounds. You know, they're uptight. Their security's real tight. You ain't getting anywhere close to them, you know. You could say something to them, and they're not going to even respond half the time, but because they're locked in. But Tuesday's totally different. And then, so, you know, you can go to the range and watch them hit, go watch them putt, you know, and they'll hit multiple balls. So, you know, they can just drop hit another shot if they don't like what they're doing. So the cool part is I've been there enough years now. The only year I've missed since I've lived here since 2008 was 2009. We could thank my wife for that one because, you know, she planned our wedding on TPC week. That was when it was in May. That was, you know, she said she didn't know she did that. And so we missed that year. Was not real happy about that, but you know, hey, the wedding was good. So
That's crazy.
And then they moved it to March, so we don't have to have it around our anniversary anymore. So it's good. But so no, we go every year. Tuesday's always the boys' day, so you know, no women allowed. We just go with the boys on Tuesday. We always get tent tickets and just have a really good time. And so the concert yesterday was great. They did a flyover. The military thing is always top notch.
Who did they bring? Who was the musician?
Jordan Davis he's a country star. So it's always country every year, except for the one year the COVID year they did the Chainsmokers, and that was off the charts.
Yeah,
That was a great little difference. But then the very next day is when all sports shut down for COVID.
So
we were there for Tuesday. It was the hottest Tuesday. It was the best Tuesday ever. And then Wednesday was everybody's kicked out. Like, we lost our tickets for the week.
Even though it was outside and everything, they still shut it down.
Remember?
Yeah, it was like
NBA,
the second
NFL,
week of March.
Yeah,
everything shut down like that first week of March.
Oh, it was awful.
Wow.
So
you still went on the Tuesday during COVID.
Yeah,
year.
and then the very next day they shut it down. So we couldn't go. And the players had to play with nobody in the nobody in the stands, if you will. So that was during that crappy year. And then the very next year was still a COVID year, even though they were back open again, but it was awful. It was just awful. But ever since then, it's they've got it right back on point.
How many people do you think are there during the day?
I mean, on an actual tournament round, there's over 100,000 plus.
Wow. Is
on
that many
100,000?
Yeah.
I did not.
Oh,
know
yeah,
that.
it's
I've never
packed.
been to a.
You go on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, it's jam packed. Yeah. I mean, just in the
I
stadium,
just Uber
we're
in.
16, 17, 18. Yeah, we did that yesterday. That was the way to go. But 16, 17, 18, where the stadium is, the iconic 17th hole and all that, there'll be 30,000 people just in that area right there.
That's crazy.
If not more.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know what the real number is, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That's
Traffic
more
nightmare.
than going to a Dallas football game. What does the Dallas football stadium hold? Like 100,000?
I think it's 110.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'd say.
Man, I wonder if this is like the most. I didn't know golf was like that heavily attended.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's huge.
Well,
but
let's talk about the tournament itself this year. All right. So we got Scotty Schefter. He won it the last 2 years.
Scheffler won it 2 years in a row.
He's gonna three-peat this year, right?
He's not going to three-peat.
Who are you picking? Like who you got going for the?
I really like Oberg right now. He's a young player. He's bombing the ball. It was kind of fun. We watched and actually walked along with him yesterday, which was really cool because the guy could just hit it a mile. And so he was fun to watch. I think he's going to do well. Unfortunately, Rory's going to top. He'll get in the top, but he's not going to win it. It's just for whatever reason, Rory can't win TPC. He comes really close. He falls apart on Sunday. So it always leaves the door for somebody, But I just don't think Scheffler's going to three-peat. It would be the first time that would ever happen. But I don't think he wins a tournament this year. I know we were talking about that earlier. That he's tweaking his swing. He comes off of 2 hot years where he's winning everything. Now he's got to tweak his swing, try to get a little better, And he's gonna struggle for a couple of years. He'll always be somewhere in the leaderboard. And making a run for it, but I don't think he wins a tournament this year. In fact, I got a bet on that, so we'll see how that happens. I'm sure Scotty's not real happy about that, but
I think he should win because he has a great first name. So
yeah,
that's who I'm going for.
He can do well. He plays well there because it's a long ball course. If you can hit the long ball well on that course, you do really well, and so that's why I like Oberg. He's got great chances. Some of these young guys, man, they just it's crazy. They're short even, and they hit the ball a mile. Just
they got 24 first timers.
Is that what it is?
Weekend?
Yeah. So the PGA Tour, they're really working hard to, get the younger, get chances to the guys that and bring in a great class of golfers. With the Live Tour that took several of the top guys, but that tour is doing absolutely nothing. Like I could care less about the Live. Well, that's a subject for another day. But that tour is garbage. I can't stand it. I'm really pissed that a couple guys defected. Like Cam Smith and John Rahm, especially after John, cried on TV about how, he doesn't need the money. It's not about the money. I'm not going and blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden, $130 million? I'm gone.
It's about the money.
It's about the money.
As a businessman, I think not taking it is not
come on. So, but so
I mean,
unfortunately.
I actually like the move. I like having more options. And I wish more professional sports. And it's not like if you think about English Premier League, even though it's not exactly the same versus PGA and Live, but at least with the English Premier League, where it's different from like the NBA or NFL, there's all these lower tier leagues that even if you're the lowest tier, you have the opportunity, even though it's extremely unlikely, to be able to compete and get to the big league. So not that PGA and Live is the same thing, but I like options, and I think it makes it, more exciting and dynamic. And who knows what's going to happen? I know it's been a few years since Live has been up, but I know they're working on, kissing and making a bar. They probably already have about how all that. Now I'm not an expert in golf by any means, but anyways, let's talk about Tiger Woods, man, your boy, right?
Yeah, I
He
mean,
just
I love
ruptured
Tiger.
his Achilles yesterday, and very unlikely that he's gonna be able to play in the Masters.
If he ruptured his Achilles and he's going in for surgery, he's not playing in the Masters. I don't see that being possible.
I mean, all he's doing is standing there hitting
That's
the ball.
next
He's
month. Yeah.
49 years old now.
Yeah, it still looks
That's
good,
crazy.
man.
So I remember when I was like, he's I guess 3 years older than me. Yeah, when I was 16 and he's like 18, 19, like just when he came out on the scene, I didn't, being a few years younger than him, like I just thought like this is just like the hype because remember it reminded me of a similar story. Remember Freddie Adu?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that 14-year-old who like played at MLS when
Yep.
MLS was brand new.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, this is just these young
The
kids.
freak of nature kind of
yeah,
deal.
and he's Freddie Adu never really he never came anywhere close.
Yeah.
But then Tiger, I would say even Tiger never really met his full expectations. Even though he's done so much phenomenal, you just thought, he was gonna like, lap like Nicholas and Palmer and all those
Yeah,
guys.
for sure.
I mean, he's definitely achieved more than them, but he
would have
didn't
if he
lap
would
those
have if he
guys.
didn't get hurt. He would have if he didn't get hurt. But he was so rough on his body, just all the working out and just the violent, the way that he swung the club just tore up his back. He absolutely would have lapped him. There's no doubt about it. The thing with Tiger, I've gotten to follow him several times at the tournament. And in fact, the last time he won TPC, I was there. Sunday, final round, watching the final putt on 18. That was pretty sweet.
Wow.
Just to walk along with him and stuff and watch him hit. I mean, the dude's a beast.
Yeah.
He walks by you and he's jacked.
He's
man.
jacked,
It's just like, man, that guy's fit.
Yeah,
Right?
it's funny. I was reading the articles. Did I cut you off?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was reading an article, and when he first came on the scene, they said that he changed golf because he was
Of
like
fitness,
he was a fitness guy golfing versus Potbelly, dad. That's just a swinging club or just
They've all gone that way now.
Yeah,
That's
now
golf
all
has
of them
turned
working out.
totally. Yeah, I mean, you got Bryce and DeChambeau out there. He transformed his body in 1 year.
Yeah.
And he's the longest ball hitter.
Got all that juice.
By
Oh,
far.
yeah.
Got all that juice or
crazy.
something.
But it's
It's crazy.
daily on the 11th hole, smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer.
Yeah, hitting off a beer can. And he's fun too because we, you guys know we have the senior tour, the Jim Furyk Classic. It'll be the last year at Timuquana this year, and then it's moving to the newly redesigned Glen Kernan next year.
Okay.
But that's a sweet tournament too because that's totally lax, and you can get right up next to the players. Like I've talked with John Daly. He drives right up in his golf cart, just gets out right next to you. Hey, what's going on? Da da da. Smoked a cigar with Rocco Mediate. Just it's totally cool. Totally.
Get that on film.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah, DeVore Live is officially turned into the Golf Network.
I know, right?
This is all show.
I know.
Well,
all golf.
I let's talk about while we're on it. Let's talk about TGL.
Well,
You
hold on.
watch TGL?
I do, but I was going to bring up your boy Shohei. We didn't plan for this, but
Okay.
did you see he did it back to back now this year. His first at bat in preseason, jacked one out of the
Yeah.
park.
Did he?
Saw that.
Yeah, second year in a row.
They do that.
So it's crazy. He hadn't played preseason yet, and he comes and finally bats for his first game,
Wow.
first up to bat, puts one out of the park. That was pretty.
They
sweet.
say he may go down as the greatest athlete of all time if he continues the streak.
Is he throwing? Is he pitching any?
I haven't seen him do that yet.
I haven't
no,
heard.
But,
I haven't been following.
but the TGL league's pretty cool, by the way.
Yeah,
And
so I've been watching Tiger on that. I know they got a limit. They're in the playoffs last week. He plays for like Jupiter. I forget the mascot name, whatever. But yeah, it's been cool. I don't watch it a whole lot. It seems to come on. I think on Fridays.
Yeah, ESPN
Yeah,
Fridays
and
kind of thing.
then I'm watching SportsCenter or whatever. Then
It's fun to watch for a little while. I can't watch it in its entirety because it's just not that exciting to watch on TV.
Yeah.
I wanted to go. Tickets are absolutely out of control expensive
Yeah.
and hard to get on top of it.
Oh, it's all celebrities. who's
Yeah,
sitting there.
it's like-
I've seen
it's
every celebrity. There was Celine Dion was at the game. It was Josh Allen, Celine Dion, Ryan Reynolds, all of these guys.
Yeah.
Sitting
Yeah, it's
in.
like who's
So-
Everybody
Yeah.
probably invested into it. Just to give you fact check you on the stadium, Cowboys is 80 to 105,000, which is dead on money. But then they say TPC is 125 to 150,000 people.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
actually crazy.
That is
Yeah.
insane.
Oh, it's wild. I mean, you guys got to go. You got to go to a tournament. Tickets aren't bad at $90, $80 to get ground passes. We walk around all day, have fun with the family, do
Yeah.
your thing. It's
a lot of
you
Yeah.
gotta go.
Well, you know what?
gotta
I
go
kind of
do it.
forgot about it because almost every year, I always get hit up by someone trying to get us to sponsor it. And I'm like, okay, we're not spending $50,000 to sponsor. We're not
get
ready to do that yet.
To get the
you know?
DeVore tent,
I
that's
mean,
what we need. We need
that
the
would be
DeVore
awesome.
tent on the 16th.
But this year, like, no one hit me up to sponsor it, which was surprising. Maybe because I said no every single year. To this point, like, we're not even gonna like waste our time anymore with this guy.
We're gonna
File's
definitely
been
do
officially
that.
closed.
I know, right?
Hey, did you guys see the funny thing about the guy who went on ChatGPT and asked it prompted to lightly roast Duval, Jacksonville?
Mm.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious, man.
What were some of those points on there?
Yeah, so the first one was Jacksonville, the downtown skyline is basically just a few buildings pretending to be a city surrounded by parking lots and dreams that never materialized.
It was harsh.
Are you offended by that, Will? Because you're the native Jacksonian, Duvalian, or whatever you guys call yourselves here.
There is so much missed opportunity with this downtown river space that is ChatGPT ain't wrong. ChatGPT ain't wrong. You know, it's getting there, but I've been saying that for 40 years.
Yeah. How many more years, right?
I know, right?
All right, this one says the locals bragging that Jacksonville is the biggest city by landmass in the U.S. So what? Everything is far apart, but ain't nothing there.
And nothing's there.
Ain't nothing there. I don't know, man.
Of course, they did bullet point the Jaguars suck on there too. So that's another Jaguars.
Man, I'm excited this
I
year,
love
though, man.
ChatGPT for
I'm
that.
excited
You
this
know,
year.
and Jacksonville Beach is not paradise. It
Yeah,
says, so
100%.
I agree with that. You know.
Yeah, y'all cling to the Jaguars like they're a championship team, yet every year there's that delusional hope like, this is our year. Spoiler alert, it's not. Man, that's hard right there. That's hard.
So hard, it's funny, but it's true.
And I don't think I've ever heard anybody saying our beach is anything beautiful. So
No.
that's, I mean, even us who
No.
know here, like, ain't nobody, you know.
Yeah.
People come from out of town and it's like, what beach you go to? Not Jack's Beach. Like,
Go to St. Augustine.
yeah, go down south.
And again, the potential's there, but even as a resident, when we go to the beach, you know, the weather's getting nice, sun's coming out, we'll be at the beach, you know, more than a handful of times this summer, and it'll be St. Augustine. If not further south.
Yeah,
For sure.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
All right, I just prompted ChatGPT. Duval, where potholes have more history than some of the buildings downtown, and Jaguars fans have mastered the art of hope and heartbreak in a single season. All right, that was fun.
That's awesome.
Anyways, man, let's get to the main stories, man. So today, what we wanted to cover with the weather, it's starting to get nice. You know, the rain. We
Yeah.
had rain all last weekend.
Stays lighter out later. Love that.
Daylight savings just happened. It's
about-
still actually kind of cool, which I actually like. You know,
Like the
because we're
breeze,
gonna
you saying?
yeah, you know, it's not like 100 degrees yet.
100%.
It's still like low 70s.
It's coming.
But the weather's heating up, and you know, the beaches are going to start getting, even though they're not great beaches, like Ethan said. You know, I didn't say that. I love our Jacksonville beaches, but let's talk about a place where it's not Jacksonville proper, but it's close by. New Smyrna Beach.
Yep.
Every year, New Smyrna is like I don't know if it's #1 in the world for shark attacks, but have you guys kept up with like every year, you know, that it's been listed as like one of the most dangerous beaches when it comes to shark attacks? And I don't know if it's great whites or if it's bull sharks or whatever, but have you guys known anyone personally who's been to Smyrna, dealt with a shark or anything like that?
No.
No.
No. Not in New Smyrna, but when I was about 7 years ago, there was a kid in our youth group, and he got bit by a shark, and so he got his calf bit by a shark, and so he was in a wheelchair for, you know, a few weeks, and then the crutches and stuff like that.
It does say it's the shark attack capital of the world.
Wow.
Record
And that
16
Volusia
shark
County, right?
bites in 2021.
16 in
Yeah,
a year? Oh my
in a year.
goodness, that is a lot. Have
You
you?
know.
Yeah, this reminds me. I don't think it has anything to do with New Smyrna Beach. It was the funniest video, and I don't want to say the words that were said on it. There was like this family. They're at a marina, and there's like this little baby shark, and like it's caught on the fishing line, and then the guy is like, "Oh, it's a shark," and he's trying to get the fish off the fishing line, and all of a sudden the shark bits off the guy's pinky like it was just like butter, like a knife cutting through butter. And the guy, you know, he's like cursing and everything. But man, that would suck to lose your pinky that
No,
way.
You know,
real.
there's just a few things that you know,
Yeah.
like shark bite capital of the world. I'm not going there. Okay, I'm reading the disclaimer. I'm gonna go somewhere else where it's less likely. You know, go to the alligator farm. Shouldn't have to put up signs that say
Don't jump in.
don't feed, right? Because You got to use a little common sense.
Dude, the
right?
alligator farm is wild because you can like zip line over
That is
top of the
fun.
alligators.
Yeah,
Have
that
you guys
is fun.
done that?
Yeah, we did that. It's been years since we did it.
It's like it's almost like you're in an Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
You know, I've been there maybe just a couple times. I don't think I've ever done the zip lining. I've done it before. I'm pretty sure I wasn't there, but that sounds like something to do. Maybe you get yourself a nice little lady, take her on a first date. We'll go to the alligator farm. We'll zip line.
Hey, we double dated. We do it.
You
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
like-
Yeah,
Shit
because
like
it's
that.
cool because it's not just the zip line. It's a course, right? So once you get
do this, go
you
that.
get to
Okay,
another
that's pretty cool.
platform, and you got to unhook yourself, hook yourself up to the next one, and then you
Yeah.
go. It's fun, and they got easy and hard,
Okay.
right? So
Hard, like more.
more difficult,
Okay,
higher,
okay.
longer. It's going to take you more time to get because once you're committed.
Yeah.
I mean, they got some emergency exit points, but I think that puts you right down in a pit of alligators. So you don't want to do that.
All right, let me read more of our leading story, all right, because I don't think we had much. All right, according to a list compiled by Love Exploring, what a great name of a publication, the most dangerous place to explore in Florida and the entire country are the Fallujah County beaches, New Smyrna and Daytona. Love Exploring mentioned that while the year-round weather conditions at these beaches are ideal, the shark population is not. New Smyrna is actually the shark attack capital of the country, and as someone also already mentioned, 16 shark bites just in 2021 alone. What was New Smyrna in the Bible? Like, what was that in Revelation? What was that referred to?
Oh,
Maybe it has something to do with
What,
it.
that church?
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if there's any parallels to the shark attacks and it being
That's
called out
actually
in
hilarious.
Revelation. I don't know. Maybe ChatGPT can find that. Anyways, okay, that was a fun topic. Let's go to the next one. Mini retirements. You guys know what mini retirements are?
Yeah, we do.
This is what people that don't want to have a job
Yeah,
say
for sure.
when they're in between jobs.
100%.
Right?
Or, yeah, go ahead, Karen.
Especially the younger. I love
Yeah.
that article
Yeah.
because this is growing to be a popular thing amongst the younger generation.
For sure.
Right? Okay, so you retire when you can financially afford not to go to work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If you are 30 and not independently wealthy, you're just being lazy
Yeah.
because you don't have enough money to carry you until
To
you're 80.
completely do it, yeah.
And it's probably easier to do because the uptick in 30-year-olds that are still living with their parents, right? So if you don't have a mortgage or a rent payment, you're just kind of freeloading a little bit. I guess you can call yourself retired.
Yeah.
Out there living your best life.
Well, I mean, extended breaks from work to recharge. I mean,
It's called
that's how they're selling it.
it's called the weekend.
I mean, take a Monday off, call it good,
weekend
come
for-
back.
yeah,
Yeah,
our
get a
weekends are
3-day
crazy these
weekend.
days.
I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, mini retirements, and there's, okay.
You know,
I feel like I've had a few of those in my life, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. E, how many mini retirements? Because you're the young buck of the group. How
Mini
many have you taken so far?
I don't know. It's not like an afternoon off, though. Sometimes it's good to have an afternoon off. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But, it's different working in what we do, so we're always
Yeah.
doing something on the
The
weekend. always out and
genesis
about.
of it was probably someone was unemployed for a while, did a job interview, and the guy questioned his resume, like, what is this gap in your resume of 2 years? And probably the first thing that came to mind was, I was on a mini retirement. And then, that actually probably helped
Yeah.
him get the job. And then
But I
just-
love what you put there, though, because in the show notes, when we talked about, there's a group of people that are just tired of 9 to 5. They're tired of the normal way society has lived for so long, and I think they're kicking against it now. Are they kicking against it with adding value to the workplace? I don't know. There's certain people that are. There's certain people that they work better at night. There's certain people that, especially, in the field I work in with media and marketing, a lot of those guys, man, like their days are just kind of like their days, but at night from 5 till 1, that's when they do their work because they're most inspired there. You know what I mean? So you have people that just that's a different way of looking at 9 to 5. But also, I mean, there's nothing like being in a group of people, the synergy, and all that. There's nothing like it, But there's also a lot of people that want to be solopreneurs, that want to do their own thing, answer to themselves, and obviously still,
Yeah, you're bringing up
money.
two different things though, because I think this whole thing spawns out of the grind.
Sure.
And you know, years and years of just, you know, I go to work at 9 and I get off at 5, and you just, you know, you're surviving.
Yeah.
You know, you're making it by, you know, all the famous sayings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that grind, I can see why people are getting tired of that after a while, and they rather just go into the mini retirement, if you will, because they're not. You know, they're not producing anything.
Yeah.
You know, with their life really moving forward.
Yeah. No purpose.
You know, I know all of us probably think the same way. That, you know, yeah, we get tired, we get burnt out, we're grinding, we're going, but it doesn't necessarily feel the same because we're doing something that we know produces, you know, external growth outside of just what we do here at the company.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just if it's work and blah blah blah, and then you calculate, okay, I'm going to take some time off, I'm going to do this or that or the other. Sure, you can call it recharging, all that stuff. That's all great, no problem. But, you know, for just you know, the job, you know, 9 to 5 grind, yeah, I can see, you know, tons of people wanting to leave that in one way or the other. So, I mean, it makes sense where this is coming from, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, what it says here is it says if you come back from a whole gap year, so you've taken a year off because you're on the mini retirement, right? With no new skills learned, no volunteering time done, you've not grown, you don't have a new certificate, you haven't increased your education. So if you've just taken the time off of working and you haven't bettered yourself in the process, then you bring no value when you come back into the workplace.
Yeah.
So the encouragement is,
do it right
if this is something that you can do and you're going to do, have a goal in mind.
100%.
Learn a new skill.
Yeah.
Level yourself up. You know, and a lot of us do that while still working. But if you're in the position where you can, you know, step away to go do that, then do it. But don't turn it into a vacation because you're not going to grow. You're just wasting time.
And that speaks to the personal development side of that. I do think when you're growing up and you go to school, it's a little bit about personal development and more about get your grades done, get your homework in, you know, extracurricular activities. It's not, obviously you can make that claim as being personal development, but I think personal development is, you know, when you get out of that forced stuff that you have to do, and then you start to develop yourself on things that you know is moving towards your purpose. Either it be business, books, masterminds, classes, all that kind of stuff that is there readily available. I do think this generation, man, look, I'm down this hill. I think they're more ready to do bigger things at a younger age than I think ever before. I think they're 16, 18, 19, 21-year-olds. They want to be a part of something that's so big, that's outside of corporate America, that if they had somebody that would show them the way, I think there'll be more people on board than.
You think that's true, or they look at is it now they're looking for the the crypto craze? You know, I'm going to put in 50 cents and make $1 million. That, you know, I think that's also something that is happening with the younger generation is they're seeing, you know, massive opportunities to take advantage of something on the, you know, like crypto, for example, and or social media. Who would have ever thought that, you know, I'll go put a couple corny videos online and all of a sudden I'm making, you know, $100,000 a month off of this stuff. It's like, you know, now you got all these the thinking of what they can do. I love it. It's awesome. There's, you know, great opportunities, but the very few make it that way.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, are they just going to stumble and fall because now they're really not working on any skill to develop themselves? They're just trying to hit the lottery with, you know, a video or something, you know?
Well, the perspective has changed in the last, 30 or 40 years. To your point, like when you were a kid, when I was a kid, the only influencer thing that you would see was either, a CEO of a major corporation, a professional athlete, maybe a politician, right? You didn't see the YouTubers, you didn't see the TikTokers, right? That didn't exist, right? So to live in an age where 10-year-olds are becoming multimillionaires has changed how young people see the world.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
If a 10-year-old can get paid showing Barbie doll videos, then I should be able to do something with the rest of the brain that I have.
Yeah, you go into any elementary school and you ask them what they want to be, and they are going to say a YouTuber or influencer.
100%.
Because that's what they
100%.
see.
Yeah.
But I would say, obviously, times change, and whether it's cryptocurrency or with what technology is doing with AI. A lot of the ways to make money, the old school ways, those are going to be solved for us by those things. So the thing that I've been telling my kids, I don't know if I shared it with you guys, is I think there's going to be more of an appreciation for the arts because everything's going to be artificially generated. Technology is going to do everything. So like human art is going to be so desirable. Yeah. So getting into, performance art and theatrical art or whatever, I think there's going to be a huge need and opportunity. Now, does that solve the world's problems? No, but it's going to be something because of just the way the world is trending and where it's going. It's going to be, what people are going to want, and there could be a demand for it. Anyway, that's a hot take. Make sure we clip that, guys. All right, let's get into some real business. It's kind of core to what DeVore Capital is. So, homeowners insurance prices on the rise. That's not new information. That is just what it's always been. Yep. And I actually have a very interesting personal perspective on this, but I'll get to that at the end. So let me read this story here. So a new report predicts massive change coming to home insurance prices, going to affect the whole homeowners market greatly. The article that we're referencing, it talks about the climate change, how climate change is driving up home insurance rates. How about that? Particularly in Florida, where worsening weather events like hurricanes are having a bigger impact. Homeowners are struggling as insurers raise rates or drop coverages altogether, leaving many with fewer options. One individual in this story that we're talking about shared that he was dropped by 5 insurance companies due to living in a high flood risk area. While Florida is heavily affected, it also mentions other states like California is also seeing rate hikes due to increasing risk for wildfires. What do you guys think of this article? Wes, how good are you?
Well, so, dealing with insurance now for years, in the roofing, let's just say, and watching what insurance companies have done to homeowners and different things. I have zero love loss for insurance companies. Yeah. It's legalized extortion. Mm-hmm. I'll say that right to an insurance agent's face. Even the agents don't even know the information that's in these policies, and half the times they're not even doing the right with the homeowner when they're signing this stuff up in the first place. So the whole thing is broken. Give me a break on climate change. That's not driving insurance rates up. The bottom line is when there's impacts, and money's going to be paid out, rates are going to go up. Plain and simple. It has nothing to do with climate change in my book. Insurance has the key that nobody else has to just call it what it is and decide that they're going to drop people, they're going to raise rates, they're going to do whatever to protect their shareholders, and it has nothing to do with them really trying to fix the system or anything else. I've just, you guys don't know this, I just printed this out. This just came from Frontline Insurance, and we're going to start seeing this hands down across the board. Solar panels, solar roofs, and solar water heating systems exclusion. We are sending you this notice to inform you about important changes to your policy, like they had a choice, right? Your policy has been amended. So just right in the middle of the policy period, they just decided, nope, here's what's going to happen. We're not going to cover damage or liability arising from solar panels, solar roofs, or solar water heating systems, or any of their components, including the cost to remove, store, reset, or replace solar panels. Blah, 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 regardless of whether or not the said work is necessary to effect repairs to the covered property. Wow. So just something else that, you've got income tax credits, you want to go solar, all these things, the Green New Deal. Okay, let's go solar. Oh, wait a minute. Now insurance isn't going to cover nothing. Yep. So this raising rates voluntarily and then calling it climate change, I think is disgusting, to be honest with you. They're going to raise rates regardless. I get it. But, and you can look article after article about every which way they're finding reasons not to cover something now. Eventually, why have insurance? They're not going to cover anything.
100%, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why do I have to have insurance at this point?
Kicking out that cash for no reason.
Yeah, it's, I think we can have a long discussion about this. Yeah. And it's not going to be a good
one.
Well,
let me tell you the way. Let me tell you the way to beat the system, guys. This is breaking news. Okay. So buying a new house, new construction home. It's in a waterfront community. It's a flood zone X, so it's not in the flood zone, but it's in the flood zone X. And 3,000 plus square foot house, 5 bedrooms. I just got my insurance quote. We're closing on it in about a week. What do you guys think my annual cost is for this insurance? Take a guess.
Annual.
12K.
I'm about to say 12 to 14.
Yeah, easily 15 grand, probably.
Not even close. It's a tenth of that.
Tenth of that.
My homeowner insurance is only $1,500 for the year.
For the year.
For the year.
And how'd you get away with that?
I don't know. The hurricane deductible is only 1%. I paid an extra $88 per year to drop my hurricane deductible from 2% to 1%. The hack is new construction. Buy brand new homes.
Wow, okay.
It's so much cheaper to insure brand new homes. So if you don't want to pay a lot of insurance, just buy a brand new home every year.
I mean, that's
We do that. Well, that's that is my advice. Every
Pay
year,
cash.
just buy a brand new home.
Cash. You don't even need insurance then.
He sounds like Grant Cardone. It's, I mean, you're 21. Yeah, go get 30 properties right now, 30 doors, and yeah, you'll see your life triple. And
Yeah, and it's a carrier. I'll give the initials AI. I'm not talking about Allen Iverson and West Nation. I'm talking about good coverage. Like I said, hurricane deductible 1%, law and ordinance, wind, everything that you expect from like a major carrier. I mean, AI is definitely a good carrier, but yeah, less than $1,500 per year. I had I had to quote it out by my local agent, and then the builder had gave me a quote.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's what you got to do. Just buy a brand new house.
So the risk is less on a new construction than it is something that already exists.
Yep.
That doesn't make a lot of sense, but you must not be in a high flood zone either.
Yeah, no. It's so they raised it like 13 feet of fill from off the creek, so it wouldn't flood. So yeah, they put retention walls and everything in, raised the whole neighborhood up. But yeah, man, it was so cheap. I was so impressed. I'm not gonna tell them like, are you sure it's this cheap?
Yeah, right.
Just because of just the house I lived in the past 10 years, it's gone up. I mean, it's probably gone up 3 times since when I moved in.
Jeez.
So just to get that quote on new construction home.
So is that the teaser rate?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if like next year when we renew, if it's going to double.
Let's write this down. So
I know, right?
It's not going to double.
That's why I said every year.
It's going to go up by 1,000%.
That's why every year buy a new house.
Every year.
Guess what? DCRE, we specialize in new construction representation. So if you are a buyer of new construction, reach out to us at DCRE, and we will be your agent. We will be your advocate to help you find the right home in the right new construction community in Jacksonville. So yeah, that's the hack. Just buy a new home every year.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Now, what do with going back to this whole solar thing? We actually install solar roofing systems, and this is so ambiguous because they're trying to just cover off on solar panels. Technically, they're solar shingles. I wonder how that's going to classify with insurance because it's a roof. It's not a bolt-on solar system. The whole problem with this is existing. Regular solar, you got to bolt it into the roof. It causes leaks every single time. So I can see why they don't want to cover the damage caused by solar panels. I maybe don't cover the solar panels. I'm okay with that. But but if somebody bolts that in and it's something that you can add to your home, then it should be covered. I think. Yeah. But so I'm finding this interesting to see what's going to happen even with our solar. We went completely blue ocean, different idea with solar because we don't want to put on a brand new roof that we do and then bolt 600 holes in the thing, right? Now we don't have to do that. We can still add solar to the house, with the awesome GAF solar shingle. But what is the insurance company going to say about that? What are they going to do? I don't think they've even thought about that or discovered that. This is just a blanket. We don't want to have anything to do with you if you put solar on your house.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the insurance company advocate for a minute, which I don't typically like to do. But if I'm the insurance company and I've agreed to insure your property, and then 5 years later you go and add on a $20,000-$30,000 system, I'm unaware of it. I didn't agree to insure that.
Agreed.
And what most people don't do is call the insurance company and say, hey, I've added this to the house.
Right.
They just wait till time of claim. Oh, I got this. And up to this point, the insurance companies
have to take it. Yep.
They have had to take it. So I didn't agree to that. It's like, we do a quote to build somebody a house. And then the expectation is you're going to build a 5-bedroom, but we only agreed on a 4. We agreed on a 4 for $137 a square foot. That's what we're going to build. I'm sorry, that's what you wanted. I'm not going to build it, right? We're going to have to add in. You're going to have to pay for that. It's an add to. So if you add to the home, you can't really expect for the insurance company to take responsibility for it after the fact when they didn't have an opportunity to agree.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that you're spot on 100%. But if I were to call the insurance company and say, hey, I want to add this on, add it to my insurance, and if then the resulting leak of my house is because the guy installs it like crap and just blows a bunch of holes through my roof, then the insurance shouldn't be responsible for that either. But,
Sure.
So I think there's a way to go about it that could be done without just doing what typical insurance will do and just find, let's just not cover something and let's just make sure everybody gets hosed in the meantime without any option,
Yeah.
Why don't they renew the policy and say, hey, you added on solar, your rate's going to go up. Here you go.
Yeah.
We're going to cover it,
Yeah.
And then here's not what we're not going to cover of it if it's, faulty workmanship that causes the leak, right? Totally good with all that.
Right. And then I would go back to the installer for filing a claim if it's workmanship.
Well, so we talked about this a
Absolutely.
couple of weeks ago. Like if incomes were appreciating at the same rate as the home values were, the pain of the insurance premium going up would not be as significant.
Right.
Right. But so let's blame it on climate change, but the real reason is the replacement cost of the home or the roof or everything else is significantly more
Absolutely.
expensive than it was 4 or 5 years ago. 200% more expensive than it was in early 2000s, right? And the income has not kept up with the appreciation, so it hurts more. Our CEO, he's figured out the hack, so he's got 12 months worth of reduced rates.
And he's going to be buying a new house again.
Yeah, the thing I don't like about the front line, it does specifically say solar roofs is excluded, which we do a water shedding solar shingle, which I think that is obviously it is completely different than a solar system that you put up there that's bolt on. So I would love to see how this actually unfolds, if every carrier is going to follow a similar thing, because our solar shingle is completely different. It is a shingle that collects, it has PV in it and it collects energy from the sun. It is a water shedding system. So I hope the other carriers just doesn't do like a very similar thing. It's like all this stuff is excluded, because that's going to be very troublesome to the industry and to a lot of homeowners. So I definitely don't like that at all.
If it it could qualify the way that we're seeing how this unfolds, then obviously that system that we're able to install becomes very popular at that point, because who would want to then install regular solar onto their house then? Yeah. Ruin their roof.
Oh yeah,
immediately.
Man, make it part of our pitch.
Yeah.
Man.
So I think we were on the right track before we knew we were on the right track, and then these kind of things unfold. And
It's called vision.
yeah, and I think it's good for us. I mean, hey, let's put it out there now. Let's get Matt Carlucci on our show, since he's the resident go-to for since he's an insurance agent and he sits on the state board and state housing, which we'll love to have that conversation with him when insurance stuff gets wrong. But we'd love to have this conversation. So hey Matt, if you're watching, we'd love to have you on the show. We'd love to talk to you about this, because this is important stuff, and I don't think anybody's talking about it.
Yeah, let's get you, Matt. We'll even buy you lunch that day.
Right. And we are not insinuating that there is a significantly large conflict of interest in his world. We're not insinuating that at all.
No, we did not. We didn't say that.
We just want to have lunch and have a conversation.
That's right.
all
We want
wanna
to talk insurance and talk stuff that we need to talk about for sure.
Yeah. Let's get to our last update. We're going to talk real estate. Florida real estate market. You guys ready for that?
Let's do it.
I can see Will's excited.
Will's chomping at the bit.
because he's our resident real estate expert. So Florida real estate market is on the decline, reversing decades of growth driven by warm weather and low taxes. Hurricanes have caused billions of dollars in damages, leading to skyrocketing insurance rates and a weakening market. According to CoreLogic's U.S. Home Price Insights, March 2025, Florida and Arizona have some of the highest risk for price declines, which is pretty daunting. Then it goes on to say, nationally, home values are projected to rise by 3.6% with a median price of $3.75, but Florida's market is facing a downturn. How about that? So the national market is 3.6% increase, but Florida's market is declining. Well, what do you think of this article?
You know, if we take 10 minutes, we can find another article that says the exact opposite.
I was about to say this.
The issue is still the issue, right? If we go out and we jump and we say the crash is coming, the Florida apocalyptic real estate crisis is here and is upon us, and we're all going to be living in tents, people are going to watch that, right? But if we say the truth, which in my opinion is there is a correction because the appreciation from 2020, 2021 was too high because we had too many people moving in at such a rapid rate. And there's 100 different things that correlate to what's happening in the market right now. One is I moved here in 2020 because I was working remote and I thought it was going to last forever. My employer said, I need you in the office Monday. Uh-oh. Now I'm trying to sell my house quickly. I'm trying to take the appreciation in a market that is correcting itself. I bought too high. I've leveraged myself too much. And there's a lot of that that's taking place right now. There's also an above average, the adjustable rate mortgages that are coming term 2025, 2026 that we didn't think we were going to do again after 08, 09. We're doing them again. And the amount of those that are going to adjust, it's already starting to happen. So if you took an ARM at 2.5%, 3% in 2020, 2021, now it's 2025, now you're about to jump from 7 to 8. And people never make the wise decisions when they go into these scenarios, right? So are we correcting? Yes, we are. 100% we are correcting, which is good because if you're trying to buy right now, you're going to get some stuff on sale. You know, if you're trying to sell right now, you need to make sure your house is clean. You need to do something to set because the competition is great, right? Which is which still can be good for you if you're a seller, right? Because you can be better and you can get market value or above market value because that's still happening too. 10% of all listings in the last 30 days were sold over market. It's still happening, right? So it's not the doom and gloom that some narratives are trying to push for. You know, it's just like New Smyrna. Not everybody that gets in the water is going to get shark bit, right? Not everybody that has a house is going to end up in foreclosure. It's not going to happen, right? We're okay. But people got to be smart. And we can't blame everything that's happening on all of these outside circumstances. The vast majority of people that are having issues with their home value or their mortgages or all of those things are because they didn't make the wisest decision possible, probably in part because they had an agent that was helping to represent them when they bought, and they just saw the dollar signs and it said, oh, your pre-approval is $400,000. Okay, let's see if we can spend $410. You know, it's not a wise decision. So that's my rant.
Crystal ball, do you think where's the tipping point? Is it, rates will come down, so they'll say we're in a great market again, or is it just now because because we're still building like crazy out there.
Yeah,
we're getting asked to there's new construction and build. We're doing our own new construction and build. People are still going to buy those homes and come into it. Yep. So, is it rates need to come down a little bit, or is it really the prices needed to ease off a little bit?
The prices need to ease up a little bit, right? That is something that is, I want to say, controllable, right? We can't control mortgage interest. Mortgage interest rates are not going down. Not going down. If you are over the age of 20, you will probably never see a 3-4% unless you're doing like a buy down or something like that ever again. Like market wise, I think we're in a 20-30 year run of we're going to be bouncing between 6 and 9. I think that's just what's going to happen. When they were low, they were too low for too long, which caused its own set of problems, right? We're not at 18, 19%. Right?
Yeah.
I think we're going to see that 6 to 9, but there's so many other factors that go into just the overall state of the economy. Every time I look at the news, like Canadians are about to throw maple syrup at us, right? Like they're taking a war posture because of the tariffs and the different things. And there's going to be a lot of that's going to be going on for the next 2 years that as consumers, we just need to be patient and be calm and make wise decisions on what we do. Show up to work hard, you know, don't overextend your budget, get as much debt paid off as you can, because we don't know what's going to happen. And anybody that tells you they do is a liar.
Right.
Because they don't. There's so many different variables at play. And it goes down to the personal responsibility of the individual being smart.
What was the so you just bought your new house? What was the big factor that caused you to buy new construction compared to finding something on the market?
In this my particular case, it was the area that I wanted to buy in, very desirable area, didn't have anything new construction, and the homes that were in the budget where I wanted to be, and it was a pretty high budget. It wasn't quite 7 figures, but it was pretty high. Even those homes did not meet anywhere close to like our needs of the family. So there was a unique opportunity to find new construction just outside of it, really close to downtown, that I didn't even know about until I started my home search. But I'm going to give you this, man. I'm breaking news today, guys. All right, so I'm looking at my appraisal report here, and so this is tying to this article, and it actually says in here multiple times where it using quotations for houses that are priced appropriate to market. The days on market is 0 to 3 months, quick, right? So people that are priced right, it's quick. So this happens all the time in a lot of these cycles, right? You get people who, trying to get the max, like it's still 2020. It's not 2020 more, right? Right. We're 5 years past that, right? Well,
it is 2025.
Yeah, 2025. So if you're priced right and the market's right and all that, it's going to sell because there are buyers out there. At least in our localized Jacksonville market, that's the way it works. So that just goes to show that, for those who understand like where we're at, being realistic with the market, people are pricing right. Deals will go under contract pretty fast. If you're asking for way too much, trust me, there's so many other options out there. You're not going to get a second look. So you just got to be realistic with pricing. So that's it. And then, there was a lot of other things in this report. Oh, and this is what I will also say. My home that I'm closing on actually appraised higher than my current purchase price. So that's like actually good news. So it's showing, and it has the verbiage in there, based on market. So I'm coming in with equity in the deal. So yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. There's everyone's going to sell a different story depending on what like narrative that they want to put out there, but it's still a strong market. Yes, I would love for rates to go down. I know Trump this week was really pushing on the Fed to end the recession. So ending it, will that actually also mean lowering rates? I don't know. From the CEO of a construction real estate development company, yeah, I would love for rates to drop because that's going to really kickstart like massive growth in these sectors. But as a consumer and as someone who loves the country, I'm actually generally okay with rates kind of being where they are, if it's stabilizing, because there was just so much money put into the system over the last 5 years, from COVID, that the market needed to stabilize because America was going in a really bad direction. So there's a lot of things that are being done with the current administration to do a lot of corrections. So many factors involved right now. And, fortunately, the system hasn't totally crashed. People are there's still opportunity out there. There's still jobs. Things are looking like, they're going to get better. But it's probably better this way, where it's just not like a quick overnight,
just
change.
Easy, yeah.
We need to ease into this because as soon as conditions get great, unfortunately Americans are kind of stupid. As soon as they feel like they got money, they just start spending and like racking up their debt and all that stuff, and put themselves in a future bad position.
Yeah, for sure. So just to back up a second, so I was just doing a little research here. In 2018, there was a 60% increase in adjustable rate mortgages from 2017, right? So just in that 1 year. The common product at that time was a 7-1, okay? It's 2025, 2018, 2025. Yeah, that's 7. So that's where we're at. So the bulk of that 60% increase in ARMs is we're right here in the sweet spot, right? So to go from 3 to high 6s, low 7s, like that's
a jump.
That is a huge jump. And what do we know that hasn't happened from 20? And this is always the pitch. Well, it's 2018, so 2025, you're going to be making more money,
Yeah,
right? Your income's going to no.
you should.
No,
but
right.
yeah, it didn't.
Your
Yeah,
property is going to
median income did
appreciate,
not.
and there has been a significant amount of appreciation from there to there, but now we're starting to see that draw back. But still doesn't matter because you can refinance your new value and get yourself into a 30-year fix. But
Yeah.
you're at 7%, and it's going to put a lot of people in a
Yeah,
bad spot.
you're gonna have to, and then you're gonna add on a lot more years. You know, you might have already been 7-8 years into it. Now you're adding right back on
Yep.
with more interest. So yeah, it's a bad deal.
It's a bad deal for a lot of people.
Yep. Well, we'll talk more about this, I'm sure, next week and on future DeVore Lives. But until next time, make sure you like, subscribe, bell button, comments. What else should people do?
Call us for your roof. Call us for your real estate. Call us for your development. Call us for your fixes. We got you.
Let's go.
Yep. And I'm Scott DeVore. I also go by Free. I always forget to introduce myself at the beginning. And I also go by DJ Scott Free.
Yes, sir.
And just so y'all know, I'm DJing this Friday night at Murray Hill Theater. It's going to be awesome because I'm the GOAT DJ.
Are you going to get booed? Are you going to get booed again?
Probably.
Hey.
He
He did not
Man,
get booed,
he-
guys. He did not get booed.
All right, so signing off, Scott DeVore, a.k.a. Free, Wes Deason, Diamond Deason, Ethanitude Famin, Moon Man,
Yeet.
and Will Reed, a.k.a. Will Reed. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.